Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and you're not my type. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margo D. Hello, friend.
You know, the only trouble with kicking the shit out of you, it would be too easy.
This is true.
You're burnt.
It would
You're
be
burnt.
so easy. But there's more. Joining us is one of our favorite podcasters, Patrick Bromley from F This Movie. Hello, my friend.
Hi, Sonia and Margo.
We are so excited to have Patrick here because we are dorking out about 1984's Streets of Fire. And I think we're all in love with this movie. So it's going to be a total love fest. So if you don't like Streets of Fire, this may not be the episode for you, or it might change your mind, which is I hope would be the case. It's a screenplay by Walter Hill and Larry Gross. It's directed by Walter Hill. We just watched The Warriors last week. We've been going down like a Walter Hill rabbit hole here, and it stars Michael Pare. Did I get it right, Margo?
Pare.
I was super close, right?
Very.
Yeah. Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, Amy Madigan, Willem Dafoe, the woman whose name you know I won't pronounce correct.
Deborah Van Valkenburg.
Yep. You're so awesome. Bill Paxton, Elizabeth Daly. There's so many awesome people in this. So
Rick Rossovich.
you have to get Robert Townsend, Ed Begley Jr. Should we keep going? Stoney Jackson.
Stoney Jackson. Did you say Elizabeth Daly?
I did.
And did you say Michael T. Williams?
Nope. There you go.
They were in a show together when I was a kid, a little baby Margo. It was called The Righteous Apples. And they were on PBS, and it was this like soul rock and roll group. So I'm very excited.
What?
Yep. No one's heard of this.
No.
I'm a weird kid. My parents listened to NPR and they watched PBS. So I always watched PBS shows.
Stop showing.
And it was their...
Stop showing off, Margo.
That's why I'm the genie Edius I am today.
My parents are like, what's PBS? That's amazing.
But anyway, The Righteous Apples, look it up. It's a real thing.
I will look it up. I'm really
It's on YouTube. I'm looking at it right now.
There you go.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna check one out after this, Margo. I really am. So, Margo and I did The Warriors last week, and then we went down this rabbit hole and watched Streets of Fire, and I totally fell in love with this movie. But before I go on and on about how much I love it, I know that Patrick is a super fan, and you've described this as an exploding heart movie, and I was hoping that you could explain to people what that means.
It's just the kind of movie where it fills you with so much emotion and you're overcome with joy that it feels like your heart is going to explode.
And that's how I feel when I watch this movie too. So it's very well said. When did you first see Streets of Fire, Patrick?
I didn't grow up with Streets of Fire. I grew up with it in my consciousness because they used to show the commercial for it on TV. And in the commercial was a clip of Michael Pare messing with the butterfly knife. Mm-hmm. And we had one of those switchblade combs. And so we would pretend to be Michael Pare in the Streets of Fire trailer. We would go, streets. And then we would click the little comb and go, oh, fire. And so that was my awareness of Streets of Fire. But it was probably like maybe a year out of high school. I rented it from Ken's World of Video, the 24-hour video store in my neighborhood. And I watched it by myself and was in tears by the end and have loved it ever since.
Oh, Margo, did you see it in the theater?
Of course I did.
You know I did
The Righteous
too.
Apples were in there. No, I was a big Michael Pare fan because of Eddie and the Cruisers, which is a movie I fucking love. And I think
I'm
there's
going to
just
write it down. Let's write it down.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know-
Erica loves it too. So if you guys ever do a dorking
Oh,
out on it, the
okay.
I'm
Cruisers,
obsessed. I think
Okay.
there's a problem with the music rights. You can't get the music rights to it. The Beaver Brown band, the John Cafferty and Beaver Brown.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And that costs money. But anyway, I loved him and I loved the song I Could Dream About You, which was on MTV constantly at the time. And I always loved Diane Lane. I just think she's the coolest chick ever.
Yeah.
And it just scratched that itch for me. I mean, it was incredible.
I saw it in the theater too, and I really liked it, but I didn't love it. I liked it, and I loved the song I Can Dream About You. It was a huge hit. It was everywhere. My sister and I still do it. Like, we sing it all the time, like, to each other. We're ridiculous people. But, like, after watching The Warriors, and I went back and I watched Streets of Fire, and there was something about it that super clicked for me this time. Like all the pieces fell into place for me, and I just super fell in love with it. And like immediately like went online and ordered the Shout Factory Blu-ray.
Mm-hmm.
And like I've been just watching clips of the movie over. I don't know what it is, like, because the movie hasn't changed, obviously, but I've changed. So there's something about me that's changed that makes me appreciate it way more now than I did at the time. And I'm just super excited that we're going to dork out about it.
I love, it's my first time seeing Willem Dafoe in a movie. I think this is his debut. I'm not sure if it's his film debut or not, but it's the first time I've ever seen him act. And I remember leaving the theater thinking that guy's going to be a star. That guy was scary and amazing and made a very ridiculous part seem not ridiculous at all. He seemed very scary. And even though Michael Pare is like twice his size and everything. I loved
the
it.
weird thing about Willem Dafoe in this movie is he didn't know they were making a movie. This is just who Willem Dafoe is.
He wears that leather outfit.
He's
like
always-
Yeah,
fisherman
he had no
thing.
idea. Yeah.
He's
Didn't
always
notice the
wearing
cameras.
his pleather hip waders all the time.
Thank you.
He's really good in this. He's really scary.
Yeah.
I'm afraid of him. And I love the look of the movie so much. The like 50s meets the 80s. And, you know, I think, Patrick, you wrote how it looks like it's been raining all the time, but there's never any rain.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there's the one famous rain scene when Tom Cody and Ellen Aim finally kiss. But otherwise, yeah, they would just wet the streets down all the time so that the neon lights would reflect off the streets, and it gives it that cool sort of retro futuristic film noir look that this movie takes, you know, is sort of weirdly unstuck in time, where all decades are happening at once.
Yeah, it's like exaggerated realism, I guess is what they were calling it. It's a total. I just love the way it looks, and I think I know they filmed it, I think some in Chicago, but they also filmed some on the Universal lot, and so many things have been filmed on the Universal lot. So the idea that they somehow still made it look so different, I think is really cool. My husband used to work as a tour guide at the Universal Studio lot, and he said that he would always point out to people, that's where they filmed Streets of Fire. And most people were like, huh? Her?
I can picture the streets.
Yeah. I'm like, that's why I love you, David, that you would point out that Streets of Fire was filmed here, even though nobody knew what this movie was. Why? And that's something else I want to talk about. And we're going to go through the plot and all that stuff like we always do on Dorking Out. But why do you think this movie didn't do well?
I don't know what the competition was. I think it kind of starts off with Walter Hill saying, this is just some other time, some other place.
Yeah.
Really not mooring it to any kind of reality. I think maybe when the big hit song was, and this is just the way it was at the time, I Can Dream About You by an all-black band, maybe people thought it was a story about the band. So maybe, you know, racism, maybe that was part of it. It didn't get great reviews at the time. And I will be honest, I don't love it as much as you guys do. I super love it. I have affection for it, but there's a lot of problems with that script. I mean, the plot and some of the dialogue is not great.
I think that's what I love about it.
I know.
Though.
It's going to beat me up. Sorry.
The dialogue is a little frustrating because everyone talks like they hate each other.
Yes.
They do.
Everyone's irritated with everyone else all the time.
This is true.
Even the one short scene that Alan Aim and E.G. Daily have together, Alan Aim seems completely annoyed to have to be having this conversation about writing songs with E.G. Daily.
There's also the point of like people are constantly punching each other out.
Yeah.
including to Ellen Aim by her boyfriend or her sometime boyfriend. It's also she's being treated like the way it's all wrapped around. It's like she either gets Michael Pare or Rick Moranis, and that's it.
Those are your choices in life, ladies.
And
Yeah.
I would pick Rick Moranis. I'm not gonna lie. Like
He is funny.
That's who I would
You could
pick.
be
I'm like
Mrs. Fish.
his glasses, the suits. I'm into it. That's my type. I like it. I think he's cool. It's just I was thinking about how Flashdance came out like before this, and then Footloose, Purple Rain, like all of these movies come out around the same time, and all those movies made so much money.
Yeah.
And I just can't comprehend why this one didn't, but maybe it is because it's not set in like the real world. It's set in this hyper realism that people were turned off.
It's also about a female rock star, which I'm sure some people are like, no, not doing that. I think that might be part of it.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. It's a beautiful movie. I mean, it looks incredible. The costuming is great. The art direction's fantastic. Some of those songs are really good and really stand up.
Mm-hmm.
I got super excited. I was like, oh, Jim Steinham. Of course, that's why I'm digging this right now.
They sound like Meatloaf songs.
They do, and she performs them very well. And her outfits on stage are super cool. I think they could have promoted her more and better. To get people to see it, yeah.
I like to pretend that this is the evolution of her character from Ladies and Gentlemen, the Fabulous Stains.
Yes! Yes.
She starts her own group called Ellen Aim and the Attackers. And
see, I pretend this is the same character from Six Pack.
oh, wow. For whatever reason, when I was a kid, I was dying to see Six Pack. I literally have still never seen it in my life, but I want to see Six Pack more than anything else in the world.
You are fine. You don't need to see Six Pack. But my dad loved Kenny Rogers the most. Like, my dad was like Kenny Rogers' #1 fan. So when Kenny Rogers made anything, it was on in my house. So Six Pack was on a lot in my childhood. And Diane Lane was the girl from Six Pack to me. So when I saw this, I was like, it's the girl from Six Pack.
So I remember the Fabulous Stains. And Rumblefish. She just had done Rumble Shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Rumblefish.
Rumble Shit is something else.
Sorry, you guys. Rumblefish, and that didn't do very well. It could have been like she maybe labeled like box office poison or something, because she didn't have a big hit film for a while.
Oh yeah, and Cotton Club, right?
Oh God, I loved that too. But yeah, she starred in that. All these roles she's doing, by the way, she's only like 18 or 19.
She's just a baby.
She's a baby, and she's stunning. I think she's one of the most beautiful women ever put on film.
Fact.
I think, but maybe if she was like a little bit older, she could have been a little grittier, maybe. I mean, a 25-year-old Ellen Aim is not going to put up with Tom or the other guy. Like, I'm not. I love that. I remember in the movie theater being so upset when he's like, I really like you, but I'm not a guy that's going to carry around a guitar case for you. And I remember thinking, they're like, why the fuck not? You're too good for that? Like, really?
He's busy. He's busy.
I would carry a guitar case for Diane Lane.
Yeah.
Right? This is true.
I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, maybe it's like a Casablanca thing where she really wants to be with Rick Moranis.
Nobody wants to be with Rick Moranis.
How dare you?
No, they
How
don't.
dare you? I wasn't joking.
You know he's annoying.
No.
He's got like little guy syndrome. He's going to just be annoying.
I would totally pick him. I wasn't
All the
lying.
short men hate me now.
Good job, Margo. Here come the 1-star reviews. They're cackle,
sorry.
and they
Taking
hate
it
short
back.
men.
I liked this podcast till they started bagging on short guys.
I'm taking that back.
So
I edited the show now, so I could do that.
That's true. Yeah, Margo's editing now. She's just cutting out all that stuff, saving us all those 1-star reviews. Thanks, Margo. Should we talk about Michael Pare?
I can do that forever.
I know you can. Tell me,
He's
why do you love him so much?
he's so fucking dreamy. He's just so my type. That laconic, especially when I was younger, I kind of took that like quiet thing as like, oh, he's really smoldering and smart. No, he probably doesn't have much to say. So he's mastered the art of like, I'm just going to use my face. And that's what's going to get me through things. But I was huge Eddie and the Cruisers. He also did the Philadelphia Experiment. Is that the one? Yeah. He's so gorgeous. Let's be clear. He was like, I think I entered puberty when I like first saw Eddie and the Cruisers and him, because I would just dream about him. I think he's a great lead, and I'm kind of surprised he wasn't able to capitalize on that even more.
I felt like he got the blame for some of the movie not doing well, and
he was in the one that didn't do well. Yeah,
and I think I actually like him in this movie. I think he's doing a good job.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why he got shit on for this performance. I like it.
He's got like one eye that's kind of wonky compared to the other one. It's not asymmetrical, and I kind of think that's hot. And I think that's
one-star reviews from the wonky-eyed crew.
Thanks, Margo.
I like the wonky eye. I like it. I like that there's something slightly askew, like a Modigliani painting, like about his face. It's just slightly askew, and it's perfect to me.
This was very close to being Eric Roberts, which is almost like a lateral move from Michael Pare.
Yeah, that is.
Like,
yeah.
If you put them side by side, they could play brothers. They put an offer out to Tom Cruise, and then Eric Roberts was supposed to do it and bailed at the very last second. So Michael Pare was nobody's first choice, and I think had kind of an unpleasant experience making the movie. I don't think he got along with very many people.
Maybe that's his problem.
Also have contributed to I remember him saying something like that in an interview, that he had a difficult experience making the movie. I know he didn't get along with Rick Moranis. He maybe didn't get along with Walter Hill. I don't want to say that for sure, but maybe he was branded as being difficult. I have no idea.
Yeah, and that kind of kept him from being a really big star.
It can.
Because like you said, he's very handsome, and I think he's very good in the movie. He's dreamy. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing in that movie, and he's like the strong silent type, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
And he lets I like his
Amy Madigan.
Yes, I was just going to say I like his relationship with Amy Madigan a lot. I like her so much in this movie, and that's another one that I don't think she clicked for me when I was younger. Maybe I didn't get it. Now I get it. I really like her in this movie. I think she's really smart and rad.
She was trying out for the Deborah Van Valkenburg part, and Walter Hill says, no, I'm going to rewrite this character because it was supposed to be played by a man, and he rewrote it for Amy Madigan. And I love it too, because she's just her own person, and she's a badass.
I wonder what her type is.
It's not Michael Pare, and it's not Rick Moranis. So there's somewhere in between.
And those are the only two choices.
One of the Sorrells.
Yeah.
I would take any of those too. And there's Bill Paxton.
I like to think she ends up with Bill Paxton, that those two figure out a way to make it work. Her and Clyde.
Clyde needed to do a little more growing up.
All of their bickering is just kind of some David and Maddie energy, and they eventually reveal that it's because they are in love.
Okay, you guys have to tell me, where was Ed Begley Jr.? Because I don't remember seeing him. I watched the movies twice in the last 2 days.
He is like a bum in an alley who tells them where they're keeping Ellen Aim. Yeah, he's all dirty and looks like a homeless person.
I would think he would have a bigger part, or maybe he just is friends with Walter Hill.
Yeah, it was just the one scene.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I actually didn't catch it was him the first time I saw it either.
Not even when he started going on and on about electric cars?
Yeah, then that's when it clicked.
Have you heard about climate change?
Just tell us where Ellen is.
So, like I said, I super love this movie, but I think my favorite part might be the Sorrells. I love
Oh,
them.
yes.
I love them so much.
Stoney Jackson.
I love when they get on the bus, they take over their bus. I love the interactions with them. I love it when they're singing for them. It's like the only time in the movie when people smile is when the Sorrells are singing. And I like that scene, and I love the scene where they're singing at the end, and like, you know, Rick Moranis is like, we're gonna be rich, and just every time that they're on screen, everyone smiles and I'm smiling, and they're my favorite part.
And when they go on stage, they're incredible. And I like they do a really great job with that song, I Can Dream About You. We've mentioned it, like 5 times already?
Yeah.
But they lip sync to it really well. They dance to it really well. And I really like that one part where he turns to Robert Townsend and is like, hey, they're getting it. They're digging it. That always makes me happy. You know, Kathy Griffin is in that audience.
Really?
She grew up near Chicago. Yeah, she was like an extra in the movie.
Margo, you know the best stuff.
I only know the most interesting things, right?
You do.
It's all that PBS in my life.
You're so smart. Should we go through this? Should we go through the plot, Margo? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Okay.
It's always you.
Okay, oh, that's true, right. So we have, Ellen Aim. What is her band?
The Attackers.
The Attackers. Thank you. Ellen Aim is a rock star. She's on tour. The time frame, they say it's another place, another time. So it's like 1959/1984, mixed together. I like the fact that they made it they integrated like the audience, and you get that kind of feeling that everybody in town goes to see her when she plays. In the middle of her stage act, Willem Dafoe shows up with his motorcycle. And he and his gang go into the concert arena and they steal her.
I want to say,
which was shocking.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I actually really like the way this is done, because she's singing and he shows up with some of his gang, and everyone's dancing around them, and they're kind of blacklit, so you can't really see their face, and they're just standing there. It's kind of creepy. Not kind of. It's super creepy. And then like the light like slowly starts to reveal like creepy Willem Dafoe face. And then they just storm the stage and take her. It's really scary.
And his thugs beat up Rick Moranis, who was trying to protect her. I like Rick Moranis, you guys. I don't like. Let's not leave here with that stain I put in the originally. So she gets kidnapped, and so her boyfriend, Tom Cody, her one-time fella, comes to town, and then he's going to help find her. And his sister is Deborah Van Valkenburg, and who should be given more to do. I super love her. I think she's always really good in what she does. But she's from the Warriors. She played Mercy in the Warriors. There's a lot of people from the Warriors, by the way, that show up here. But they wind up at a place called Torchy's Bar, which is a bar that's in a lot of Walter Hill movies, where women are treated like dog shit. And
By the way,
that could be in Neon Lights.
So after I watched Streets of Fire, I went back and watched 48 Hours, and there's also a Torchy's in there.
Yeah, there's a couple of different Torchies in Walter Hill movies. And then they have Maureen Jahan, who was from Flashdance, which is one of our best episodes, I think, where she's dancing essentially topless, virtually bottomless, doesn't get a screen credit. Like she didn't get a screen credit for Flashdance. She doesn't get a credit here, but she's dancing around. And then Ellen's in the back. She's tied to the bed.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the movie theater being terrified. Willem Dafoe says, "You're going to be my girlfriend for a couple of weeks and then I'll let you go," which is ew.
So all of this is just, he gets his whole gang to like kidnap a girlfriend for him.
And he's not even with her. Like he's hanging out in the bar.
Yeah.
And So Tom takes her away, gets her out of there. And then it's a big thing between Willem Dafoe and Michael Pare, like they're different factions. And we have like 2 police officers, I think, that work the whole town. Or 4, sorry. There's like 4. And they are antagonistic with Tom Cody, and some of them are on the take. And what else? What am I missing?
Well, one of those police officers is Richard Lawson from Poltergeist.
That's right. The guy with the stake.
That's
No,
right.
no.
No, he's the
No, to the other guy.
yeah, the other
He's the
one.
He stays. He stays with the
He's
family
the one.
and helps
Yeah,
them
he's
out.
the one who stays. He's the one that
The tennis balls.
Yes.
Sweet Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
That guy.
I know who I'm talking about. And Rick Rossovich is a cop, and how does the Sorrells wind up with the gang? Do they get their car stolen, or
They hijack their bus.
okay?
Yeah. And then they're like, holy shit, you're Ellen Aim. Let us open for you. We're super rad. And they are. They are right.
And they are.
And they sing and everyone smiles, and it's the only time people smile.
And then there's going to be a rumble, and it's between Cody, Michael Pare, and Willem Dafoe, and they bring sledgehammers. Are those sledgehammers? I mean, what are they technically?
I think they're sledgehammer.
Yeah, I think you're right.
To a knife fight.
Mm-hmm.
Or to a gunfight. They bring sledgehammers, and then I guess it's the honor system. Like, I'm not going to stab you, shoot you. We're going to fight it like real men.
Yeah, there's a lot of honor in this.
Yeah, we're going to fight like real men with sledgehammers. And it's actually pretty exciting. Their fight is pretty intense. And Michael Pare wins, spoiler. And Willem Dafoe is taken away by his friends. The guy from Fear, the band Fear. What's his name?
Leaving.
Yeah. Mr. Body from Clue.
Right.
He was in the band called Fear.
Yeah.
That went on Saturday Night Live, and it was the first punk band and the last punk band they've ever had on. Anyway, he takes him away on the motorcycle. The other people in the town, everybody all of a sudden has a gun, and then we get back to the stage, and Ellen's doing her thing, and she's singing, and Rick Moranis and Michael Pare decide what's going to happen to her. She has no agency of her own fucking life.
I knew when I rewatched this movie that Margo was gonna not love that part. That they are.
I didn't love it then. I have to say to you,
I knew that Margo would have this like. And by the way, I do agree with you. Like, they're discussing her like they're deciding who's gonna get her, right? And that she's just gonna go with whoever. I totally understand that. I still really like the scene.
It's okay. I like her, and I like her singing or lip syncing. She does it very well.
Yes.
Not everybody can. We've been doing a lot of musicals for book versus movie, and not everybody can lip sync. Diane Lane brings a lot of passion to the part, and she looks incredible.
She does.
She does. And I still like this movie. I just don't think I like it as much as you guys. I think maybe I'm just, which is okay. You probably don't like Eddie and the Cruisers as much as I do. You probably be like, what the hell is this girl talking about?
I think I like that scene because it does remind me of Casablanca, which is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I know it sounds like they're deciding, but ultimately she'll decide for herself. And, will she stay with Billy? Probably not. I like to think that she hooks up with one of the Sorrells, but I still like it. And I like the end a lot where, Tom like goes out and like meets up with McCoy and gets in the car, and they, it's the start of a beautiful friendship basically, and they drive off.
Yeah.
I really like that. So
I like that too.
I'm fine with it. I like what they do with the Rick Moranis character, actually, because I feel like that could have gone a different way. That could have been, I don't know, he could have been someone that like Tom Cody has to punch out, and he could have been a huge dick, and he is a dick, but he's kind of a likable dick. And I felt like his heart was in the right place, and I like what he says, like, I'm not going to stand in your way, and she needs me, but she loves you. And I liked all that stuff. I like where they took the Rick Moranis character. What do you think, Patrick?
Yeah, I like the aspect of the movie that ends like Casablanca, but I agree with you guys in terms of them the fate of Ellen Aim being decided by these two guys, without her being there to take part in the conversation.
Right.
It's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird. Maybe they could have had it before she went out on stage. Because I'm like, fuck you both. I don't want to be with either of you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm with Willem Dafoe now. This was all for
He'll really fight for me.
That would be it would be so funny is after
He'll
he
carry
kicks
my goddamn guitar.
after he kicks his ass. She's like, "What have you done?" And she like runs to Willem Dafoe.
Turns out to be a great boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Very loyal.
Yeah.
No job too big, too small.
Didn't know how to get his foot in the door. That was really the problem.
He wanted to be a roadie.
That's it.
And I always think it's very strange because there's a shot where she's singing and the music climaxes and the camera begins to crane up, and to me it's such the logical endpoint for this movie for the credits to start, and yet then we cut outside to Tom Cody and McCoy, and it's fine because Sonia, as you said, we get the beginning of a beautiful friendship moment between them, and Walter Hill was clearly invested in the Tom Cody character, to the point where like the original title of the script was something like The Adventures of Tom Cody Part 1. It wasn't Streets of Fire. It was like, this is a character that I'm going to follow through a series of movies. And so he wants to set up a potential sequel with Tom Cody. But
Yeah.
I always feel like the movie should end on that crane shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for some reason I always have it in my head too that it ends with like her and the Sorrells like singing. And that's when the credits roll, but that's not where it ends. And every time I've watched it now, I'm like, oh yeah, no, there's the whole other thing that's happening.
Yeah, no, it should end on the crane shot of her and the Sorrells singing. It's so the logical end point for this movie.
I still like it though.
No, I do too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's
I know you
fine.
do. It's your exploding heart movie.
It is. Because every time and it's always the shot of the Sorrells. When the Sorrells join in on Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young, we get that first shot of their feet coming forward, and they're joining, and it's like, look, everybody's in on the song, and now it's this big celebration of everything that's come before. I'm moved to tears every single time.
Aw.
It's so good.
You have fifis.
1 star. I liked it before the guy started saying he cried.
So many 1-star reviews.
Let me say this. I love that last song. And then it starts to play over the credits. And I do watch the credits. Mainly, I was doing that to see if they would mention Maureen Jahan as the dancer, and they don't. But then they go right to a song by The Fix that I haven't heard in ages. And I got super happy all over again. I'm like, this is so perfect. This is a great movie.
The music is so good. There's songs written by Tom Petty. There's songs written by Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
There's, the songs that are written by like Meatloaf's people that sound so Meatloaf.
Jimmy Iovine's on the soundtrack. I mean, he produced a bunch of tracks. I think they just weren't as big a hits as you got from Footloose and Prince's Movie and all the other musical type movies that we had at the time. And maybe that hurt it.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, I Can Dream About You is super poppy.
Very poppy and was very popular.
Yeah, the other ones are not poppy. They're more straight rock and roll.
And if you just saw that video
and
then said, I got to see the movie now, you were going to be disappointed because it wasn't that story. It was, maybe that was part of the problem.
Yeah, but people didn't even see the movie. That was that was the problem.
Well, there's always somebody that sees it though. Like there's some people that go like the first weekend.
Yeah.
And there's people that go the second or third weekend, and they consult with their friends that they go first. And I think, and it's like, today would be the box office that decides if people go, if you're a second or third weekend kind of person.
Yeah.
But I think if you were there to see the Sorrells and instead you got this weird sledgehammer fight in the rain. You're like, that was stupid. I don't know.
It just, to me, has always seemed like a movie that was destined from the outset to be a cult movie.
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
about it screams, this is a cult movie, and this is a movie that audiences are going to find eventually, but that lacks mainstream appeal, especially
Like
in
The Warriors.
1984. Yeah, exactly.
Because that wasn't a big hit in the movie. I mean, they had a problem with gangs in the movie theater, but I think it was the repetitive viewing that made it happen for people. And they just realized, oh, he's really good at like universe building and making
Yeah.
it just slightly different from contemporary times. But yeah, what were the other Walter Hill movies? Is he still alive? Where's Walter Hill?
He's still alive. He still makes movies. He made a movie a couple years ago with Michelle Rodriguez
Oh.
called The Assignment that is
Oh.
a little problematic.
Oh, no.
I haven't seen it. I don't think I'll be seeing it. Did you see it?
Oh, I've seen it a couple times, yeah.
Oh.
She plays a man who's a hitman, and she kills, I think, Sigourney Weaver's brother. And so Sigourney Weaver's revenge is she captures her and knocks her out and has her involuntarily gives her gender reassignment surgery her into a woman.
Mhm.
And so she
Oh.
spends the rest of the movie as a woman. It is not very woke.
Wow.
Yeah.
To say the least.
I would like that on the DVD box. It's not very woke, Patrick Bromley. This movie.
It's not. I think it's on Amazon Prime or Netflix if you're interested in checking it out. It's also not a great movie, in addition to all the kind of problems of the sexual politics and stuff. It's not a great Walter Hill movie,
Right.
you know, and he had a run in the late 70s and 80s that's
Yeah.
almost untouchable.
I am fascinated that this is the movie he made after 48 Hours, which is why I went back and rewatched 48 Hours to kind of refresh my memory because it's been a long time. And that movie was huge. It made so much money. It made Eddie Murphy like a huge star. And this movie is so different that anybody who went to see 48 Hours and then was like, oh, the guy who did that movie did Streets of Fire, let's go see it. They were in for a really big disappointment.
Well, it's the kind of movie you can only make after you have a big hit, you know?
There
Yeah.
you go. Yep.
Yep, 48 Hours, it didn't age well for me. And I used to love it. I thought it was good. I had like memories of but all my memories of it were Eddie Murphy. And then going back to rewatch it, I was like, oh, this movie is like just dropping N-bombs over and over. It's got all kinds of random like racism, misogyny. They drop the Annette O'Toole character like halfway through the movie and we never see her
Yeah.
again. It's a very strange movie, but it made so much money. And Eddie Murphy was such a star in it. But yeah, then you get this. And like I said, super love it, but very different movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's different from almost anything else in Walter Hill's filmography. I mean, it's not in the sense that like it's a barely coded Western, because that's most of what he makes are Westerns in different genres. But it's different in that it's so romantic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That it has such a heart to it. Most of his movies don't. They're very sort of masculine and very much about here's what men do and here's men who live by this code. And this is a lot of that. Obviously, you know, the Tom Cody character is very much a Walter Hill character. The Amy Madigan character is very much a Walter Hill character. And, you know, we've already talked about some of the issues with the masculinity and how the fates of women are decided by two men. But just the shot of them kissing in the rain as the camera pushes in is so out of place in a Walter Hill movie, but I think this movie earns it.
Yeah.
I think so too. I love that scene, but of course I
Oh,
do.
yeah. It's great.
I wanted to point out how much I love that Billy Fish constantly refers to McCoy as a skirt, a sweetie pie. Like, clearly is not reading the room. She's none of those things.
She's not
Like,
those things.
and yells at her. He's always yelling at people.
Yeah, he is always yelling.
Change that tire!
Everyone is always yelling at people.
Everyone is
No one
always
likes
yelling.
each other in this movie, except for Deborah Van Valkenburg, who I think maybe gives the best performance in the movie.
Yeah.
She's the only one who isn't angry and annoyed with everyone else around her.
She behaves like a real human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does. By the way, 48 Hours, also everybody yelling.
Yeah.
It was I actually tweeted, why is everyone yelling? Like, it's just nonstop yelling. Let's talk about how much Margo hates Rick Moranis.
No,
I love
please.
Moranis. No, I'm kidding. Margo
saying his character.
Margo loves Rick Moranis. Everyone, save your 1-star reviews. I love him too.
Yes. Let me explain myself. The kind of character he is playing. I'm a tall woman, and I know guys like him. They're kind of like, "Hey, chick, you're gonna notice me because I got personality and I'm quick and I'm smart and stuff like that." And I just find that annoying.
This is such a different part for him. Like, because so Ghostbusters came out the same month, and then after that, it's like, right, it's ridiculous. He's like a huge star, and he starts doing like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and all that stuff. But before this, it was SCTV and like Strange Brew, and this role is
Bob and Doug.
Yeah, this role is super different for him, and did he play any other characters like this ever again? I don't think he did.
At Parenthood. He's kind of a jerk in Parenthood. He doesn't yell at everybody. I love that movie, by the way. I super love that movie.
Let's put it on the list.
Put it on the list because I would love to talk about that. I'm trying to think of Rick because he was in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like that series, and then he purposely, I think his wife was sick, and then he left Hollywood for a good 20 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I like Rick Moranis. It's not that, you guys. I'm talking about a type of dude that annoys me. That's all.
I think he's really good in this.
He's great. He's doing a great job.
I think he's always good though. But I just think it's interesting because like maybe 2 years later we get Little Shop of Horrors, and
suddenly Seymour.
He's so good. Yeah, but he's playing such a dick in this, and he is kind of a dick in Parenthood, but he's also super likable in Parenthood.
Yeah.
You do like him, but he is kind of a dick. In this one, he's just kind of a dick.
Yeah.
And then kind of redeems himself at the end. A little
Sorta.
A little bit.
He's there for the money. He's like any kind of rock manager in any movie.
Yeah.
He's not full of feelings. He's about making money and putting them on the road. And, if this movie extended, he'd be giving them drugs to keep them awake and keep putting on shows. We know this.
I love your sequel, Margo. It's so good.
Dark.
My fan fiction. Yes.
Do you know that there is a sequel to this movie?
No.
Is there?
What?
I don't recommend seeing it. It came out a couple years ago, and it's written and directed by Albert Pune, who's a filmmaker that I really like, but he tends to make movies that people consider schlock. It's called Road to Hell, and it stars Michael Pare. He comes back, and Deborah Van Valkenburg is in it. There were rights issues, so I don't think they ever called him Tom Cody. He's just Tom.
Okay.
But they use some of the same music, cover versions of the songs, recorded by, I forget the name of the band. And it just kind of follows him, and he's become this very dark, possibly murdering character. I don't recommend seeing it. I got to see it. There was a theater in Chicago that did a night of Albert Pune movies, and he premiered it there. This was probably 5 or 6 years ago. So I got to see it theatrically, and I was like, well, I love Albert Pune and I love Streets of Fire. How can this miss? And it didn't work.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
But it is out there available to see for anybody who's interested.
I don't know if I'm interested.
Yeah.
No. I'll
Probably.
rent the Philadelphia Experiment again. That's what I do.
There you go.
Good
That's
job.
what I'm going to do.
Good job.
Just pretend that's a sequel.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song in the movie? Let's start
I
with
Can
Patrick.
Dream About You.
Yeah, me
Oh, I'm
too,
sorry.
Margo. How about you, Patrick?
Mine is Tonight Is What It Means to Be Young.
That's such a good one. They're both
Although
good.
Nowhere Fast is awesome. Yeah, I do love both the Jim Steinman songs.
And do you think Ellen and Billy stay together?
I think she starts dating the next most powerful executive she encounters.
That sounds about right.
Someone at the record company, like a
Yeah.
Mariah Carey thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's pretty open about, like, I want to be with somebody who can do something for my career.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
Yeah.
And then she calls Tom when she needs something. And by something, I
Right.
mean sex.
Right.
I was going to say a booty call, yes.
You up, Tom?
On my way.
I'll be right there. Do we have anything else we want to say about Streets of Fire? I'm going through
It
my
rules.
notes. That it rules.
It rules.
It totally does. I'm going to watch it
Yeah.
again later.
I love it.
I just
It
love
flies
it so much.
by.
Yes. Yes. There's not a wasted scene.
Yeah.
There is not.
It's all there. Yeah, it's a real tight film.
Do you want to hear
And it
about
looks
some?
great.
It does look great. Do you want to hear about some other movies that came out in June 1984?
Absolutely.
Okay. Beat Street.
Yeah.
Margo, I know you saw Beat Street in the theater.
I love Beat Street.
Yeah.
My brother had the soundtrack. He would play it all the time. This could be is that Beat Street or is that the other one we've established? There's Electric Boogaloo and there's a couple other rap movies.
There was Break-In and Beat Street.
Break-In. Yeah.
I think also came out in 84.
Mhm.
Breakin' and Breakin' 2 came out in
That's
84.
right.
It's true.
Like within months of each other, right?
Yeah. They shot and released the sequel the same year, which is how good movies are made. And I say that as somebody who loves both of those movies.
yeah.
I saw both of those movies in the theater because I loved breakdancing because I was growing up in the 80s. You're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters came out in June 84.
Great movie.
So it's like a perfect movie. Gremlins.
Love it.
How that didn't come out at Christmas, I don't know. But there you go. It feels like such a Christmas movie, obviously, but it came out in the summer. This is such
Didn't
a crazy
Gremlins-
summer.
Didn't Gremlins and Ghostbusters come out on the same day?
I think that's right.
That probably, yeah.
Look how spoiled we were in 1984.
Right?
Yeah.
Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock.
Good one.
I think
Yeah.
underappreciated Star Trek
I
movie.
agree with you.
I like that one a lot. We
too.
rewatched all the Star Trek movies at the start of the pandemic.
So did I.
We went through Star Trek and Lord of the Rings. Not the Hobbit movies, just Lord of the Rings. And I really liked 3. I was kind of surprised. Everyone shits on it, but I really like it.
I like 3, but it was like our one theatrical movie that year. We would basically only go to one movie in theaters as a family per year. And we went to a theater called the Prospect Theater, and it had a balcony, and we were sitting in the balcony. But I had just learned about Abraham Lincoln, and I that the balcony was a dangerous place to be, and we would be assassinated if we sat in the balcony while watching Star Trek 3. We were not.
Somebody yelled, "Sic Tempest Tyrannus."
Yeah, exactly. So weird that they picked our showing, but
That's so stressful.
it really was. So I don't
So
think
sorry,
I gave
Patrick.
it a fair shake when I was a child, but now I like it.
Yeah, it's a good one. Top Secret also came out in June 84.
Very nice.
Very
Yes,
good.
movie.
Karate Kid.
Great
Holy
movie.
cow.
Yep.
This is why the movie didn't do well, because all these
Yeah.
movies are out
Yeah.
there.
Oh, well,
Definitely.
Rhinestone.
Oh,
Every
okay.
time I bring up Rhinestone, I laugh out loud. The fact that Rhinestone exists, which, by the way, my mom loves Rhinestone. She thinks it's amazing and hilarious. And I'm like, oh, Mom,
she's not wrong.
Nah.
I'll tell her you said that. Bachelor Party,
Great movie.
Nice.
Very good movie.
Cannonball Run 2.
Captain Chaos. I saw
Margo,
all the shit.
we should do the Cannonball Run movies.
We should. Those are great movies.
We did Smokey and the Bandit. Now it's time to
Yeah.
do Cannonball Run. And then the last one is Conan the Destroyer.
Oh my
Ooh.
God.
Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
That was all June.
Yeah. Yeah. Streets of Fire didn't have a chance.
It really didn't.
No. Do
I
you
mean-
want to hear some of the top songs? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I want to hear top songs.
Top songs of 1984. Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now.
That's a good one.
Good one. David Bowie, Blue Jean. It's one of his weird 80s tracks I really like. Bananarama, Cruel Summer.
That is
Also featured in Karate Kid.
correct.
Yes, it was.
Such a good
It's
song.
a big time to be a Bananarama fan.
Yeah, it was.
The only
I'm your
time.
Venus. I'm your fire. Prince, When Doves Cry.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't get away from Prince in 84.
No.
I tried. You couldn't.
Scorpions. Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane.
Sure.
Y'all.
That was probably Margot's
And-
favorite song.
Hurricanes,
that
famous
fucking-
for rocking you.
I was a rocker chick.
You
I
were.
was totally cool with the Scorpions. Yep. And then my favorite song of the year, one of my favorites, Shaka Khan, I Feel For You.
Oh, boy.
Awesome song.
That was everybody's favorite song, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure.
How dare you, sir?
No, it is a good one.
Mine was Drinkenstein from Rhinestone.
Yeah.
I knew it.
I don't even know what that is.
We need to have you
Oh,
back
it's
for
a song that
Rhinestone.
Stallone sings in Rhinestone. You know, the movie where Stallone sings.
I did wonder how he sounded when he sang. I should check that out.
Don't do
Well-
it, Margo.
Yeah, I don't know that I recommend it.
Why don't you fly out here, Margo, and you can watch it with me and my mom. She'd be so-
Absolutely. I'll be
she
there.
would be so happy.
You could do a double feature of Rhinestone and Six Pack.
I love it. Something for mom, something for dad. Seriously, I can't tell you how much he loved Kenny Rogers. We had a Kenny Rogers poster in our house.
Wow.
Kenny Rogers was big in the early 80s.
Yeah. Yes.
He was dressed
Yeah.
as like the gambler or whatever, and it was like up on
Sure.
the wall. Like I think
And
he
then
got,
the Gambler movies.
yeah, he watched all of those. He loved Kenny Rogers.
My mom loved all that shit too.
We didn't have a Kenny Rogers fried chicken out here, or he probably would have ate there too. It's ridiculous. He loves him. Saw him in concert when he played with Dolly Parton. He loved Kenny Rogers.
Star of Rhinestone?
Star of Rhinestone, Dolly Parton.
I'd see that double bill.
Oh, yeah.
You are so
I would love
funny.
that double bill.
Yeah.
Patrick, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, gosh. I'm usually leaving 1-star reviews for Dorking Out.
Their cackle, it's the worst.
I'm at fthismovie.com every day, or on Twitter at fthismovie and at Patrick Bromley.
And Margo, where can people find you?
On social media, you can find me at Brooklyn Fitchick, mostly for Twitter and Instagram. I'm starting TikTok.
Hey, now.
Slowly but surely. Yep.
That's where the kids are.
That's where the kids are at. And then my blog is brooklynfitchick.com.
And if you like the sound of our voices, and you probably don't, we also host a podcast called What a Creep, where we talk about a creep every week, and then we end the episode with someone who's not a creep. And it has a private Facebook group that you can ask to join and be with your fellow people who hate creeps. It's really fun. You can find me at thesoniashow.com and The Sonia Show on Twitter and Instagram, and sometimes TikTok, because I heard that's where the kids are.
Mm-hmm.
And Dorking Out, if you like us, email us at dorkingoutShow@gmail.com. We'll send you stickers. Give us a good review. It will really help offset all those 1-star reviews that Patrick keeps leaving. We'd be really, really grateful. Patrick, thank you so much for coming on and talking about Streets of Fire with us.
Thank you. It was super fun. I love this movie, and I love both of you.
Oh, that's how we feel about you.
Well, thank
Guys,
you.
it's been a slice.